In April of 1979, Black Sabbath guitarist Tony Iommi met with his lead singer, Ozzy Osbourne. After a dismal tour, an album for Never Say Die, as well as a repeated failed progress on new material, Iommi let Ozzy know that he was fired. Drugs and alcohol were also a factor, to which Oz was light years ahead of his bandmates. Things looked incredibly bleak for Ozzy, who had hidden himself away in a Hollywood hotel to essentially drink himself to death. That was until, as the legend goes, Sharon, his soon-to-be wife, came over to have him sign paperwork, and after seeing the state of his life, got him back on his feet and motivated to create new material. That first piece would be 1980's Blizzard of Oz. With Sharon's help, a small three-piece was formed with Ozzy Osbourne, bassist Bob Daisley, and guitar virtuoso Randy Rhoads. They began working on demos in Wales with session drummer Barry Cernage, a friend of Ozzy's. Eventually, Lee Kerslake stepped in as a permanent drummer. Keyboardist Don Airley would also join and help contribute the tracks Mr. Crowley and Revelation Mother Earth, although he would not receive writing credit for these songs. When Ozzy first heard the organ intro to Mr. Crowley, he was overjoyed, saying, "You just plugged into my head, man." Ozzy would work with Rhoads on the album's ballad Goodbye to Romance, which was penned as a farewell to Black Sabbath. Some of Ozzy's contributions have been disputed, as apparently during work on one track, he was passed out under the drum riser while the others worked. The album's signature track would be Crazy Train. While hanging out with fellow guitarist Greg Leon, Rhoads was played the riff for Steve Miller's Swingtown, but played it faster. This would become the foundation of the song's iconic riff. This and Mr. Crowley would be released as A-side singles for the album. Max Norman was brought in to produce the record after an initial producer failed to deliver what the band wanted. From the beginning, there were issues with crediting the artists. Rhoads and Daisley both felt they were relegated to simply being backing musicians and didn't receive full acknowledgement for their contributions. Rhoads almost didn't tour for the album in the United States. Sharon would also claim to have helped with this record and to have been in the studio. However, she was living in Los Angeles at the time, and Ozzy was still married to his first wife. Things only got messier when in 2002 the album was reissued with the drum and bass re-recorded with new musicians. Daisley and Kerslake sued, and despite losing, the original version would be reissued and restored with future releases. In order to get the US distributor Epic Records to put more promotion and money behind the release, Ozzy and Sharon visited them. Inside Ozzy's coat pocket were doves, and after speaking with the group, he released them. Ozzy also happened to be drunk, and after sitting on the lap of one of the women in the room, picked up one of the doves and bit its head off. Chaos erupted, and Ozzy, being Ozzy, grabbed another dove and bit its head off as well. They were thrown out of the building and were told they would never work for the company again. As the story began to spread like wildfire, so did attention for the record, and it became a smash hit. Those who doubted Ozzy couldn't get by without Sabbath were quickly silenced. The tour for the album was massive, lasting a solid year and consisting of 4 legs. Between the European and American tours, they would record Diary of a Madman and fire everyone except for Randy. Supporting acts for this tour included Motorhead, Joe Perry, and Mountain, just to name a few. The record would go on to become one of the tentpoles of classic metal. It defined the sound for Ozzy for years to come, and would be often imitated, but never duplicated, by countless other bands. It's probably my favorite Ozzy solo studio album, and it's just so well put together and performed from beginning to end. It's a miracle that it ever came together at all, and fans all over the world are so happy that it did. What do you think about this album? Let me know in the comments below. The content on this channel is made possible from viewers like you. Help the channel grow by supporting me on Ko-fi, which you can find a link to below. You can also help by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.